I'm here at Snetterton Circuit to interview 6 drivers who have all won their class in the Track Day Championship. Let's see what they've got to say. How's your first year gone? Reached your expectations?
Yeah, by far. I never expected to be where I was at the end of the season, coming into the season. For my first race being here at Snetterton, I thought, I wasn't sure what to expect. But as soon as I went out, I was like, I've got the buzz. And I managed to come, I think it was third, in my first race, which I was really pleased about. And then coming through the rounds, I just keep getting the good results. And then coming into the last round at Brands, it was like 1 point behind the class win. So it was all to play for, and we managed to grab the win. It was a hard race, but managed to get it.
Good to hear. So tell me about the car that you're driving.
We're racing a Clio Cup car, new spec, brand new from last year. Never driven it before coming into the year, both me and my dad, and I think it's gone quite well. Good car.
Fantastic. So what's the car's strengths? Did that come into play this year?
The sequential gearbox definitely helped a lot because it's all on the flappy paddles, so that was the main part, I think, and basically just a fully built race car that's giving it a good edge, I think.
Fantastic. Okay, so it sounds like a pretty exciting year, but what was the race that you most enjoyed?
Definitely the last one, 100%, because I had the class leader was right behind me for the whole, I think, half an hour that I was out, and he put on a lot of pressure, and I managed to keep ahead of him, so that's definitely my highlight of the year.
Fantastic. So what would your nearest rival, do you think, would say about your driving this year?
I don't know, you'd have to ask him, but I think I've done quite well being it was my first year. I think I've shown a lot of people that I'm not just a 20-year-old boy with a lot of testosterone. But I think I did well. So next year should be good. Yeah,
that brings me on to my next question. So what are the plans for next year? The same car, same championship? Or?
Yeah, I think next year will be the same car, same championship, and just try and get the win again with my dad.
Cool. Fantastic. Well, we wish you all the best and look forward to seeing you on track.
Cheers.
So Callum, tell me what happened this year.
This year was interesting for us. I mean, personally, I missed bits of it. I've recently changed careers, which has meant that I've been away a lot. So Ben's picked up most of the slack as far as our team's been concerned. But the bits of it I've done have been great. It's been really challenging. We've had some tricky conditions over the 4 races that I did. They've been great. Really enjoyed it.
Fantastic. So tell me more about the car you've been driving.
So we run a Caterham 7. It's the same 1997 car that we built for last year's season. Although we made a few tweaks to it over the winter period. I say a few tweaks to it. Ben's sponsor very kindly donated us a new engine, which was custom built for the car, and it could be a lot more powerful than it was. But it's a great car. Very different to the others out there.
Okay, so we always say that every year in motorsport is a learning year. What do you feel that you've learned different this year to previous?
What have I learned? Well, I've now learned not to overtake back markers under yellow flags. That's a good one. Of course, I knew that at my ARDS test, but I'll remember that next time.
Fantastic. Yeah, I can imagine that was a good one to try and learn, to be honest. But so plans for next year, have you made any decisions at all yet?
No, not yet. For me, plans are a little bit up in the air. So Ben, my partner in this, has bought me out of my share of our Caterham. I know he's looking to do some things with it next year. Again, for me, time is now quite a factor. So I'm keeping my options open. I probably won't commit to a complete series of anything next year, but I intend to get back out there, and I'd love to keep supporting the guys here at MSVT. It's a great series, and if I can get back on it, I will.
Fantastic. Okay, so just one question to lead off that then. So what would you tell anyone that's coming new into the championship for next year? Any tips or advice that you would give them?
Don't take it too seriously. It's really, really good fun. It's the perfect platform for starting a motor racing hobby. I think too many people now start motor racing in their, early 20s, mid-20s, mid-40s, and expect that somehow they're going to become a professional racing driver, and trust me, when you know a few real professional racing drivers, that's not going to happen. So just enjoy it. The camaraderie in the paddock is fantastic, and the way the guys run it is really nice and friendly and relaxed. So come in, enjoy it, and do what you can.
Great, fantastic. Well, some really kind words there. We wish you all the best for next year, and see you out on track.
Great. Thanks very much. Cheers.
So, Martyn, tell me about your year in the Track Day Championship.
Yeah, so season didn't start off so well, so I had a DNF to start with, was running fourth. However, then from that moment on, the season turned round. I think I had 4 class wins, and I think even with my dad who races with me, we even had a 1-2 at one point, and finished on top for Class A.
Fantastic. So, what do you think was the turning point in the season?
Until this year, we've been used to sprinting those cars, so sort of 15, 20 minutes, and I think we needed to make a few changes on the cars for a 45-minute race. And so, just having a look at having done the one race, it was now we need to go back to basics and have a look at these cars and get them sorted. And from there, we had a pretty good season.
Fantastic. So, tell me more about the car. What were you driving?
So I race the ex-Harry Volkard Mark 1 Seat Leon. So that was the car he used when they run the Mark II and the Mark 1 cars together. So, yeah.
Fantastic. So was there good things and bad things about the car that happened this year?
So reliability was a bit of an issue. I mean, also the setup on the cars, actually the way the car's set up, it runs 3.5 degrees camber. The tyres can't take it, so it's no fault of, tyres. I use the tyres for as long as possible, so I'm an absolute shoestring racer, and running 3.5 degrees camber. I think I had 5 minutes left to run at Silverstone, and I had a puncture which ended my race with me in the lead at that point. I was absolutely gutted.
I can imagine. So then, budget aside, is that the car that you would choose, or would you choose something else to enter the championship?
So you said budget aside, it'd be touring cars. Yeah, I'm a front-wheel drive driver. I know that straight from the off. So any of the front-wheel drive cars and the touring cars, I'd love to have a crack at them.
Fantastic. Okay, so what are the plans for next year?
Currently undecided, but probably going to come back and try and have a go at defending my championship. May also look at building a Citroen C1 for the Endurance Championship for that. However, we've also looked at the Cat Enduro Championship. It's just with me and my dad running 2 cars with 2 trailers, we can't run the same weekends with a Cat and the Seats we've got. So might be the C1 and the Seats next year again.
Good to hear. So lots of MSV championships that are potentially on the shortlist. How do you feel the MSV have run this year, and what advice would you give to anyone else that's coming into the championship?
First of all, MSV, it was one of the reasons I chose this championship, because I used to run in the Volkswagen Audi Group Trophy, and for me, I liked the way they ran their championships. They listened to their drivers, because in all fairness, motorsport without any drivers is just watching an empty track. So for me, organisation and listening is key, and Sam and Stuart for this championship do exactly that.
Fantastic. Well, we wish you all the best for next year, and congratulations again.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, Ray, tell me about this year. You're obviously a seasoned racer with MSV Championship. How has this year gone for you?
Quite well, really. We've had our problems in the past. The last couple of years have been pure hell, really. We were happy to start a race, let alone finish it. We often didn't get through qualifying, but the new car brought its reliability, and even though we didn't turn up for the first race because we were on holiday, and sort of just went through, enjoyed every race, enjoyed turning up, racing, going home again with a car that worked. And towards the end of the year we thought, we're actually not far from the top, we could do this. Obviously racing with Jordan, I spoke to him and said, don't worry about the championship, go out there, enjoy yourself and see what happens. And obviously culminated in that last race at Brands, which I think everyone would say was a bit of a nail biter.
Okay, so you obviously talked about a bit of a change in season, so a new car. Tell me about that. How's that helped?
Reliability. It's just all we've had is niggly problems, and however hard you try and prepare it, something else went wrong, albeit, a spark plug, a crank sensor, something went, but the new one just has gone perfectly all year. Hasn't missed a bit.
Okay, so motor racing is always quite the community, but racing alongside your son this year, that's been something to enjoy?
Yeah, it's been a while coming. He's had his race licence a couple of years, but he sorted his life out and said, right, come racing. And from day one, he's been quick. A few mistakes along the way, but he's learnt from them. And again, that last race was testament. He's got what it takes.
Fantastic. So tell me more about the last race and how pivotal it was at Brands Hatch.
As I said, we weren't really looking at the championship, and after Zandvoort we actually did the calculations, and because we'd missed the first race we didn't have to drop a score, and when we started looking at the scoreboard and dropping other people's scores, we realised that we were second in Class B and third overall in the championship, and basically we had to beat John Line from Tylah Motorsport to win Class B. As it turned out, Frugal had not the best of races, came third, and we overtook them at the same time. But the whole race at Brands was basically with John Line, and I don't think there was more than a couple of seconds between us for the whole race. And everybody watching probably thought we were racing for the race win, when really we were racing for the championship. Whoever came across the line first won the championship. And thankfully, by 0.3 of a second, I think it was, that was us.
Fantastic. Well, it's always good to hear the coming down to the wire like that. So how does this change your views on what you're going to race next year?
It doesn't really. We'll have more of the same. The championship, very, very friendly place to race. The whole paddock is one big racing family. We're going to do the same again.
Fantastic. Well, good to hear. Well, best of luck for next year, and congratulations again for this year.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
So, Dean, how has the 2018 championship gone for you?
Yeah, good start. Good mid championship, and ended it well. Quite steady. Finished the races.
Fantastic. And what about the chosen car for this year? What did you go with?
BMW E30 325.
Okay. And has that caused you any issues at all this year, or has it been a good choice?
Yep, good choice. Quite a simple car. Not much ECUs or electronics on it, so quite simple. Finished every race.
Fantastic. So is there any race this year you think that's particularly shone out for you at all?
I think Brands GP circuit. Just win in there. Not get to drive it much, so it's a good feeling.
Fantastic. Okay, so if money wasn't a problem and you decided to go for any championship and car, what would you go for?
Stay with the BMW E30 and probably stick with the MsD Championship.
Fantastic, which I'm sure they'll all be very proud to hear that. So anyone new that's coming into the sport and wants to get involved in the Track Day Trophy Championship, what advice would you give to them?
Give it a go. It's a good, easy championship. Everyone's friendly. Everyone helps you out.
Cool, perfect. Okay, and what are the plans for 2019? Sorry.
Going to try and do as many Track Day Championships as we can again. Hopefully do them all, and maybe a few trophies as well.
Fantastic. And the same car again, as that seems to be proven?
Yep, same car again.
Fantastic. Okay, well, wish you all the best with that, and look forward to seeing you on track next year.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
So Ben, how has this year gone for you?
Well, it's gone very well results-wise. It's not been without incident as racing tends to go, but yeah, it's been spectacular. We came to win S-Class this year after winning A-Class last year, and we've succeeded. Very, very happy about it.
Fantastic. So it's a proven championship for you then, coming up through the ranks, as it were.
Yeah, we started off in did a couple of rounds in an MR2 in Class B, and then we bought the Caterham to go and do Class A, and then worked all the way through to S-Class. And yeah, it's been a bit of a rite of passage getting back into motorsport, coming from karts and a big gap in between. And it's been great to be part of the TDC family. It's been really good fun.
Fantastic. So tell me more about the car. I believe it's something that you've kind of renovated yourselves and brought up to scratch to race in.
Yeah, it is indeed. It's a 1997 Caterham Supersport, but it's a little bit like Trigger's broom. She's had just about everything more than once. We've done an awful lot to the car. The engine was a 1.4K series. Believe it or not, it's still actually the same block, but just in its third iteration. And we had it built professionally this year, which is why we've been able to jump up to S-Class. The car in general, we've tried all sorts of things. We've mostly found success by putting it on wide track. So we now have a metric wide track on an Imperial Caterham chassis. As you can sort of tell, we just strapped whatever would fit on it and gave it a go. It was very odd. We've had a bunch of failures. We bought some nice expensive suspension, put it on and went about second a lap slower. So ripped that off again, and we've just been trying anything we can within our budget to try and get a little bit more out of it. But actually, turns out most of it was in us. We just keep improving, and it's great to have a teammate that pushes me like that as well. We're always close.
Yeah, we spoke to Callum earlier. So what are your plans for next year?
My plans for next year are actually to move on from TDC. It's been great, but we've sort of gone as far as we can, and we'd like to let somebody else have a go because we've done it twice. But I'm going to go and race with some other Caterhams and see how I fare in a sort of one make kind of championship, and then hopefully from there I'd love to get into prototype sports cars, the sort of the lower end of that. That's where I'd like to end up. So yeah, just continue gathering experience in different championships.
Fantastic. Okay, so anyone new that's coming into the series over those last few years, what advice would you give them that you think that would be quite pivotal?
Last year my answer to this was just do it. It's fantastic, and it remains the same. It's a great environment. The support you get from the staff, the other competitors in general, it's such a supportive atmosphere. You feel like they want you to race. And that's what's important for me, is to get out there and get a race. At the end of the day, it's my hobby. I want track time, and I'm there because track days kind of lost their charm a little bit. I still enjoy a track day, but there's nothing quite like putting up the inside of somebody and hoping for the best. But the nice thing about this championship is the guy you're putting up the inside of is aware of it. He's not going to put everything on the line to stop you, and he'll get you coming out of the corner if you make a ball. So it's the perfect place to learn. It really is.
Fantastic. Okay, well thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you on track next year. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you, Ben.